Good afternoon. In this video, we're going to go over this week's options watch list. Before I get into the watch list, if you're not in the room, you can find the link in the description of the video and in my bio section of social media accounts. Also, please like the video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Now, looking at the put to call ratio right now, it's at 0.54. It's pretty low. A lot of people are on the call side. We've had a really strong move on SPY. So, yeah, a lot of people are on the put side right now. I mean, on the call side right now. So, with that said, we've got a short week this week. Get a lot of tickers to cover for the watch list, but so this will be basically the watch list for the next couple of weeks. But this week is going to be a short week. Thursday is Thanksgiving and Friday is Black Friday, which will be half a day. Market will close at 1. So and that said, the economic calendar for Monday, don't really have anything going on Monday. Tuesday we have FOMC at 2 p.m. Yes, usually FOMC is on a Wednesday, but for some reason it's on Tuesday this week. For some reason I thought it was going to be on Wednesday, even though Thursday's a holiday, but maybe that's because Thanksgiving is on Thursday, that instead of having FOMC on Wednesday, they moved it back to Tuesday. So yes, keep a mental note that FOMC is on Tuesday. It's at 2 p.m. and there's no Powell. It's just a minute. So hopefully we'll get a little bit of action. The last few FOMCs have not done shit. They've been crap. So I'm not expecting too much to happen. Then on Wednesday, we have unemployment claims at 8:30. Then we have revised consumer sentiment and inflation expectations. So revised, so that means it'll probably be the real numbers that come out, because they always give you government fake numbers and they revise it to something else a month later. So careful of that. Then Thursday, obviously the market's closed for Thanksgiving. Then Friday, the economic calendar don't have anything except for flash manufacturing PMI and services PMI at 9:45 Friday morning, and then the market closes at 1, I believe. So not much going on as far as the week besides FOMC. Short week. I don't usually do well on short weeks, so I'll probably play pretty safe and slow this week. I have SPY up. Let me look at the weekly. We have a 3 massive green candles, 3 white soldiers. Whenever you usually have 3 massive green candles, it's usually a pullback. I mean, we have 4 right here and then a pullback. You got 3 big ones right here and then a pullback. So 4 here, and I had a little bit of a pullback. So whenever we have big rally candles, we end up seeing a pullback. So that's what I'm anticipating. But I mean, the daily is also making an ascending wedge, the flat top being 450, 150. So if it breaks out of that, we can see it push to 455, even possibly 460. We have a gap. We need to fill over 455 and 460 be the next area, which would be a pretty significant area at 460, because we got resistance here, resistance here, resistance here. That would be a quadruple top. But also got to keep an eye on a couple of things. One is SPY is overextended and VIX is very low. I'll cover VIX in a minute, but we got these massive green candles. I'm expecting a pullback, but if we get to this 460 level, we have a huge inverted head and shoulders on the weekly. We get the left huge head, and the left shoulder, the huge head, and the right shoulder right here. We get over 460. Regardless of what's going on, we could see a huge pop. But I don't think we're going to see a huge pop and inverted head and shoulders without some kind of a pullback, because VIX is way too low. VIX is right under 14. I mean, VIX is not going to get crushed to 10. This is not the Obama era when the daily candles were only 50 cents to $1. We're not having those kind of candles. We have massive volatility. We got a lot going on in the world. VIX is not going to 10. VIX, the bottom of a VIX lately has been 13 to 14. So if it does manage to break out, could be a fake out, could be a pop and drop on that. So, but I'm more or less looking at the drop side because we have a lot of gaps to fill on the way down. So if it gets below 448, we got a 445 gap here. We get a gap right here at 431. Then you gaps here at 425. So we got some pretty significant gaps right here, but we haven't had a really big red day on SPY in a while. So we had one right here, but it quickly rebounded into a massive, bigger green day. So I don't think we're going to see a push to 460, but I could be wrong. I was thinking we weren't even going to make it to 450. I thought that 430 was going to be the ceiling, or then even 440, 435, 440 was going to be the ceiling, but it just keeps going and going. And these this phantom government inflation number saying inflation is going down, which is completely bullshit in my opinion, pushed it up quite a bit. So I think that's we're going to see some reality checks coming in on that. So but we're just going to keep an open mind on SPY either way. But I do not like playing the call side when VIX is this low. VIX is way too low. Yeah, I went down to below 13 here, but I'm not expecting it to get under 13. But it can. Don't never say never. That's one thing I've learned over the years. Never, ever say never when it comes to VIX or SPY. But I would say VIX is getting ready to bottom out. So that would play into the fake out that we could see a push down to probably closer to 13 with a fake breakout on SPY, pushing it down to 13, then popping. But even with SPY chopping it, it really ground down VIX under 14. So on Friday. So I'm anticipating a pop on VIX. Like I said, I don't think it gets under 13. If it does, it'll be short-lived. If it gets under 13, it's gonna pop really quickly. So I'd watch VIX over the 14 area for probably a push to at least 18 on a short-term area. So if SPY does end up breaking and breaking down and filling that gap underneath 446 to 440, that could be a pretty significant gap fill on that. So I'd be watching that for SPY. Other things to be watching, QCOM. I haven't played QCOM in a very long time, but one of the things I'm watching on QCOM has been, first of all, you get this channel right here, this on the weekly. It's really overextended on the daily. RSI is at 80, so I would watch QCOM underneath 128 for a push to 125 to fill the gap. Then you get the earnings gap up right here from 115. So probably you can see gap support down here at 115. I just don't think QCOM could keep going, but it's so overextended on the daily. RSI at 80. I mean, come on, that just seems a little bit extreme. And you have a bearish divergence going on in the daily. The price is going up as the RSI is going down. So QCOM could put out a nice little trade on that. So keep an eye on that. Roku is another one. Roku is just a crap stock. It's just been crap for so long. I mean, yeah, it's flattening out right here at the 9500 area, but anytime it gets up to 95, it gets crapped on pretty significant. Right here, it gapped up, had a nice earnings little run, and then it crapped out, gapped up to the pushed up to 95 and crapped out. So I'm looking for it to gas out again at 95, and maybe it doesn't even make it to 95. So I would watch it underneath. We'll just say 90 for push down to 88, 85, 80. And you get gap support right here at 70. So Roku just cannot get out of its own way. Roku used to be such a massive stock to play, but it's not going anywhere. So I would keep an eye on Roku for it to take a crap. Apple, another stock it's gassing out. I mean, up at the 190 area. This is where it had resistance right here at 190. RSI making lower highs in the hourly. I guess price makes higher highs. Definitely a bearish divergence going on there. RSI is over 70 on the daily. The weekly, I mean, it looks like it could go up higher, but Apple is just such a crap stock. I mean, I know the stock is good. People love Apple and stuff like that, but to me, I think Apple is It's overhyped. It's just garbage. All they do is rehash their iPhones. They have Chinese sweatshops. I mean, it's just a disgusting company. And yeah, people get excited and keep buying their child labor phones and rehash products. I just don't understand why people do, but they just keep buying that crap every year. They live on food stamps, and yet they manage to buy a new phone every year. It's really, really disgusting. I have so many hateful things about Apple. I just don't like. It's pretty much like the way I feel about Google, but that's just not the time to talk about that. But yeah, Apple misses earnings. It misses earnings, and then it reduces production on iPhones and stuff like that. So what does it do? It just rages. Apple is just notorious for doing stupid things all the time. So I'm expecting it to pull back, hopefully this week. So I'd watch it underneath 188, push 185 for a gap fill, 180, 175, 170, 165. So let's see if it comes back. I don't think it'll come back down that low, but definitely could end up seeing it down to 175, 180, 175. So definitely keep an eye on that. Plus RCT trend lines right down here. It's got quite a bit of significant gap between that. Usually when it does get far away from that, it does manage to fill it. So watch. That's why I'd be targeting on Apple. So keep an eye on that. Amazon. I know it's Christmas season, and Amazon's probably going to do well because of it. And I'm kind of looking at it from a bullish perspective on this. If it gets over 147, push to 150, 160, 170. Christmas season's here. A lot of people are going to use credit cards and Amazon, and just they'll end up doing pretty good. But the bad thing about Amazon is they keep laying off people. Are laid off the gaming in section, and then they ended up laying off something else just on Friday, and I don't remember what it was. So, but yeah, even though with all the bad news, there's just stocks just keep going up. They're just ignoring the reality of things, like Apple missing earnings and reducing production, but yet still going up. So bad news is good news, and laying off on Amazon when juggernauts like Amazon and Walmart and other big companies that are doing really, really well are laying off. That's not a good sign of a strong economy, no matter how well Powell and Biden seems to spin it. If the economy is so great, you don't cut interest rates, you raise interest rates. You only cut rates on a bad economy, not when it's supposedly doing good. So it's all bullshit. Don't believe anything that the government tells you, because it's all complete bullshit. So Amazon, that's my take on that. Now Apple, BA, it did get out of this range down here, and then pop back in. I'm kind of surprised it's up to this 210 level. So I'll be watching for a pullback on this. Bearish divergence going on right here. I just make it higher highs on that, and the RSI is making lower lows. Head and shoulders on the hourly left, the head and the right shoulder. So I'd be watching that. Plus you get an inside down candle set up right here. Well, not really inside down, but it's more of a downward trend right here. Well, usually if it's inside, it'd be inside this candle, but it looks like an inside down day, but it's not. Right, so I'd watch underneath 205. If it gets underneath 203, push down to 200, 197 is going to be a gap fill. So I'll probably look for definitely a gap fill on BA. So definitely keep an eye on that. Disney. Disney had a huge earnings run up. RSI is over 70 on the daily. As it's making higher highs, it's got a bearish divergence going on the RSI as the price is making higher highs. RSI is making lower highs. So bearish divergence going on here. Disney can't seem to get out of the way. It's kind of like Roku. Anytime it's got a big pop, it gets crapped on. So I'd watch it underneath 94 for push to 92, 90, 88, 86, 84, actually 85 is a gap fill right there. So I may try to hold gap support right here from earnings at 88. So definitely keep an eye on Disney for a drop on that. A lot of the stocks I'm watching the next couple weeks, I'm anticipating a drop. Microsoft had a huge run up. I thought it was going to reject this 350 area, 360. It just keeps going. But now it's starting to look like it's cooling off a little bit of a head and shoulders on the hourly, the left, the head, and the right shoulder. So I'd watch underneath 366, 360 for a push to 365, 360, 355, 350, 345, 340, which is down here where this line is. RCT trend line's down here, really far away from RCT trend line on the daily. So it does got plenty of room to drop. Who knows if it will drop that much on that, especially with Microsoft getting into the open AI and stuff like that. So who knows, Microsoft could just end up keep going. But I mean, I'm looking at the RSI, even the weekly RSI is above 70. So it does need to have a little bit of a pullback. Maybe it only pulls back to 360 or even 350. I don't know, but I think Microsoft needs to let some air out quite a bit. So I'll be definitely keeping an eye on that. And Tesla, be interesting to see what's going on with Tesla with all this stuff that's happening with big companies are shutting off advertising for Twitter. I know that has nothing to do with Tesla, but because he is the CEO and the person behind Tesla, that this could impact Tesla and all the drama that's surrounding Elon Musk. But also with SpaceX making new headlines and more records and stuff like that, that maybe it helps Tesla. So I'll be kind of curious to see what happens. You get the head and shoulders right here on the hourly again, left head, right shoulder. So I'd watch it on the 230 for push to 225, 220, 215, 210, 205. But also if Tesla, the market just ignores Elon Musk's drama over the last few days, then maybe it does end up taking off. But the head and shoulders is signaling maybe a drop. But I would also watch it over 243 for push to 250, 260, 275, 280 on Tesla. So Tesla, keep in mind for both directions on that. Netflix. Netflix is another one. I mean, it's gassing out right up here. I mean, you just get a little bit of resistance. It does get some gap to fill right here. He didn't quite fill that gap up here at 470. So maybe it does make a little more of a run to 470 to 480. Get this line up here. So maybe it does make a push further up, but RSI at 75 on the daily. Bearish divergence going on the hourly. Price is going up. RSI is going down. So I'm actually looking for more of a pullback. I'd probably watch it underneath 462. You can even say 460 if you want to really look. Well, I guess you could say 463, 460 to 450 to 440, 430. 400 is a big area. I don't know if it'll get down that far, but it did have a massive drop right here. So we'll have to see what happens. So on that, but I mean, it could get a push to 480 and then end up rejecting harsh off that, because that's what it did up here. But that was an earnings drop right there. So was that? No, that was earning. What day was earnings? 7/19. What day is that? 7/19. Yeah, that's an earnings drop right there, because it happened after hours. It pushed up. Earnings was bad, dropped. So yeah. Anyway, so that's what I'd be watching for on Netflix. I mean, we get that 480. Maybe the 480 is going to be a magnet before it does actually end up dropping. So with that said, that's going to do for the watch list. I know this is probably the biggest watch list I've done in a long time, but you can just use this watch list over the next couple weeks, because this week's short. So who knows what's going to happen. But I mean, VIX is just way too low. VIX, something's going to happen this week. But Thanksgiving's coming. It is a short week. Maybe nothing does happen. Maybe we just go sideways all week long and we wait until after Thanksgiving before we actually do something. So that was my son waking up. So anyways, we'll have to see what this week brings. So we'll take it day by day and trade what the morning brings us. So that's going to do it for the watch list. And thanks for watching.